Okay, well, I say we get started, and then if people come late, we'll have to talk about them. All right, how are we guys? Sorry, before we jump in training. Okay, really, how are you? I've kind of come to notice in life, good is always this like generic, I'm good, how are you? In fact, I walked up to, not really, I don't walk, but I went up to a person one time. I started to say, hi, and they said, I'm good, how are you? I'm like, all right. I said, good, thanks for asking. Okay, but are we good? Are we, okay. Because, part of being a dog trainer is also being a counselor, listening to people's problems. So, if you have any problems, stay afterwards, I'll charge you a beer. All right, so back to your dogs. How did we do this week with your dogs? Give me 4 things that we worked on last week. Hi, good to see you. What are 4 things that, okay, let's say, what's one thing we worked on last week?
Sit and lie.
We worked sit and to down, okay. Okay, what are the first 2 things that we worked on before we even got to that?
Engagement.
Engagement, okay. Give me a overview of engagement. What is engagement?
Ready to learn.
Ready to learn. Ooh, I like that. Way to go. Somebody was paying attention. The brain open, ready to learn. Dogs engaged, ready to do something with us, okay? What else did we learn? There's one other thing.
Free.
Awesome, the other F word.
Ending the command, yeah.
Yes, the terminal marker, yes. I always like the other F word. It's a good way to remember it. Not the F word you really want to use with your dog half the time. The F word you should be using with your dog half the time. Good to see you. All right, so are we good on those things? We need to talk about anything? Did anybody not understand anything? Get any success? We need to go over it again?
All I noticed.
Doing better? Okay? Yes.
When we're doing the exercises and I say 3 and release him, he's fine. But then in real life, he just gets up whenever he wants to.
Ah, that's a really good question. So, to me, there is no real life or training life. It's all training. I'm never ready to ask my dog to do a behavior unless I'm ready to reward for that behavior. And if I'm ready to reward for that behavior, I also need to release the dog from the behavior. So there's no such thing to me as training time and non-training time. So you always kind of think ahead. Okay, if I'm gonna ask them to do something, especially with these guys' age, I need to be ready to reward the dog. After the dog gets older and the dog has a lot of consistency, in other words, years of reps underneath their belt, then you can maybe start by not having to reward, which is a really big question that comes up a lot of times. Is I hear all the time, Jason, I don't want to use food because I'm going to have to use food all the time. In retrospect, you are going to have to use food throughout the dog's entire life. We always have to revisit and reinforce. However, you don't always need to reward throughout the dog's entire life every time you ask them to do something. I know it's kind of strange. With you guys, where you guys are at in your training careers with your dogs, you need to reward for everything, every time you ask for anything, if you want consistency. As a dog does better and then understands the muscle memory, then you can start varying your reward. So us 3, me and these 2 young ladies here, we have to do a 15-minute routine. Basically, it's equivalent of getting me to get my dog to stare at me for 15 minutes without looking away, hopefully. Now, of course, it's not quite that rigid, but it's pretty rigid, okay? So our goal is the dog's always under the impression that at any time I could get rewarded. If we go too long without paying our dogs pretty soon say, I don't know if I really want to be consistent, or I don't know if I want to be as quick as doing that, or I don't know if I really want to do it at this time. It's not bribery, it's basically muscle memory. It's the same thing as if we go to the gym. If we go to the gym and in your, let's say from your 20s till your 30s or 40s, and you're in really good shape, that doesn't mean you can just take the rest of your life off. Okay, because if you take the rest of your life off from working out, you're going to get out of shape. Why? Because your muscles are going to break down, they're going to fatigue, and they're going to go back to how your genetic makeup is made up. So the dogs are kind of the same way. Does that kind of make sense? So if you want consistency, you need to reward for everything at this age. As the dog gets older and more consistent, then you can start varying it. And that's a hard time. I can't even tell you when it's a good time unless I see your dog at that time. It's called a variable pay schedule. So that's something you guys can kind of look up. And do some research. When should I start varying my pay schedule? Is it time? And get some ideas on that. Okay. Sorry, I know I've got off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's a really good thing to talk about. Plus, it kind of goes back to your question. If I'm not ready to train, am I training?
Yeah. So one more question.
Sure.
Should we be increasing the time before we release the dog?
Duration?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good question too. So duration happens, in my opinion, when the dog firmly understands the behavior and I'm ready to start asking for duration, okay? Give me an example of what you want to add duration to.
Down.
Okay, so the length of time the dog stays in a down?
Yes.
Okay, that's a really good question. So I have seen people, I have some friends that are in Europe, and I have seen them with a 20-week-old puppy get the puppy to lay down for an exceptionally long period of time for that age of puppy. Okay, why? Because it was so reinforced. The dog was under the impression that why would I ever want to leave the down? I don't want to leave the down. The down is so important to me. It makes no sense to the dog to want to leave the down. So it depends how anchored the behavior is or how strong the behavior is to begin with. If the dog likes the behavior and feels that there's going to be success in the behavior and there's going to be a payout for the behavior, then you can probably add more duration than say it's litter mate. If you're still fighting the dog in understanding the behavior, let's say the dog doesn't really do the behavior really quickly, then in that point you're not really ready to ask for duration. Does that make sense? So the quicker the dog does the behavior, the more anchored it is, the more you can start asking for duration. If the dog doesn't offer it so quick, then maybe it's not time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's hard because I'm only seeing I'm seeing your dogs 4 times, and I'm trying to give you guys knowledge in order to carry you over the next years of their life. So it's really a hard question to ask. Okay.
I have a question
Yes.
about when you call them to come, and I forgot what to do when they don't come straight to you, but they do the roundabout. Do you reward them or not at all when they don't come straight to you?
That's a good question, dude. Did we work on recall last week? A little bit? Okay. So we must have had some free time because I think normally I work on a week 2 or 3. So that's a really good question. I like you guys. These are really good questions. You guys are thinking outside the box. It tells me that you guys really want to learn this information. So you're absolutely correct in your thinking. However, the only trick to that is if the recall is brand new to the dog, then we have to accept some variances, some not consistency. If it's an established or anchored behavior, then at that point, if my dog, like me personally, if my dog firmly understands to come to me, in other words, I've done plenty of muscle memory, the reward is high, he knows he's going to get a higher reward, and there's no other outside influences, distractions, or anything like that, and the dog doesn't come to me, you better believe I don't pay him.
Okay.
However, I always take in all these little things that I mentioned. Conditions, where, what kind of influences there are, how anchored the behavior is, sometimes how, not really the reward, because the dog should come no matter if it's not a high value or not, but in your case, you need to ask yourself how long you've been working on it,
Yeah.
how anchored it is, and what the scenario you're putting the dog in. Okay, so in the backyard, I feel that she should be able to not have to pay the dog every time if it doesn't come the way she wants. If she takes the dog to a park and she works on it in a hectic environment or a non-neutral environment, and the dog is a little bit slow but does make the correct choice, at that point the dog definitely needs to be paid. Okay. So this is where a good handler comes to a great handler, and understanding all these little variances and how it affects the overall picture of the dog. Okay? Really good question though. Very good question. Okay, any other questions before we move on? Okay. All right, so tonight we're going to cover attention, and we're going to cover leave it and take it. So attention I really like for a couple different reasons. One, it's a verbal cue we're going to give our dogs in order to look at us. A lot of times it's really handy when you're teaching dog to heel. Dog will be attentive, understands where its focal point is in the heel. The other way it comes in really handy is if you are in a public area, and let's say this dog is doing really good tonight, by the way. Let's say this young lady took her dog into a store and she sees a dog. She's in the pet store. She sees a dog come in, and it's kind of reactive. She can tell that it's going to be causing a problem with her dog. Okay, there's two things she can do. One, she can give them my business card. Okay, I have to put my little plug in there. Two, she can ask the dog to look at her. If the dog's staring at her, is the dog going to be doing this to the other dog? Probably not. So in some aspects, she can avoid the issue altogether. Okay, but here's the little kicker. We can't get engagement and eye contact mixed up. Okay, engagement's a frame of mind. Yes, the dog does offer a lot of eye contact and engagement. Why? Because the dog communicates through our face a lot. You'd be amazed how much the dog will get information from our face, how we're feeling, what verbal cues we're giving, all this kind of information that they gather from our face. But it's a little bit different. Eye contact is something that we're going to teach your dog. Engagement is basically a mind frame or a game or a play you're doing with your dog, okay? So make sure you don't mix those two up. Okay, I'm going to use my friend Christina here. We're going to do a little role playing here. Hi, Christina. Welcome to the stage. All right, so what Christina's going to do is she's going to have some... Oh, nice, Christy. She's going to have some food out. Now, what's the first thing she's going to do if I'm kind of like hanging out and looking at this dog over here? What's she going to do? Huh? No? Am I engaged with this dog or am I engaged with her?
Get his attention.
Yeah, she's going to do a little engagement, right? Oh, hey, what you got there? All right, Mama. I'm ready to do anything for you, Mom. Okay? Now where's my brain? Is my brain focused on that dog or my brain focused on her? Now my brain's focused on her. I'm ready to learn a new behavior. This is crucial for new behaviors. Okay? All right, so now I'm focused on her. What she's going to do is she's going to have food in her hand. Okay, she's going to put it in front of my nose. She's going to show me how to shoot food. She's going to bring it up to her face. She's going to bring it right down to me, and she's going to feed me. Boom. I do that again. And she's going to feed me. Okay, what is she doing here? Do it again.
Getting you to look.
Yes.
Rewarding you for looking at her.
You got it. We're basically teaching the muscle memory of looking up. Not really, I don't really care about the eyes right now. I just care about the dog getting the muscle memory of looking up at the face. It's really important. Pretty soon we'll capture the fact where we want the dog to stare at, but right now we just want the muscle memory of looking up. Okay? So here, turn around and show them, please. Okay, so watch what she does. Dog's in front of her, brings it up to her face, and she does it. Here's what you do not want to do. Okay, hold it right there again. If she holds it right there, what is the dog looking at? Her face or her hand? Okay, you don't want to block your face. The other thing you don't want to do is only do it out of one side of your hand, or one hand all the time. The dog gets really quick and learns, hey, wait a minute, do they have a piece of food in their right hand? No, they don't. Oh, I don't want to offer the look, okay? So you mix it up. Food can come out anywhere. I have to do things a little bit differently than what I train you guys. So I know this is going to seem gross. There's a reason why I'm 42 and not married. It's because I spit food out my mouth all the time at my dog, okay? So I can't do this with my hands. Body doesn't let me. So what I have to do is I put hot dogs, cheese, and while I'm watching a movie sometimes, or while I'm working, or whatever I'm doing, my dog comes up to me, I'm just spitting food for the first months of their life. Months and months of their life. I'm teaching this muscle memory. We'll look at my face, boom, we get paid. Look at my face, you guys get paid. You guys can do the same thing. I kind of don't recommend it for a couple different reasons. One, it's kind of, you have to learn how to spit. So weird saying this. You have to learn how to spit correctly, okay? Spit the food correctly, because if not, it can land anywhere. And two, hot dogs are nasty. There's a reason why I don't eat hot dogs anymore, okay? But the idea is when you do this, you bring it to the side of your face. Christine, show them again right there. You don't stand up. Okay? You bring it right there, almost to your cheek. Now, the other thing you don't want to do is do this. Don't bring it halfway to your face. Don't do that, because the dog is still will focus on the hand that's there. Yes, the dog is following the hand, but we're following up to your face. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, remember, we don't put a command to it until the dog firmly understands what to do. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to do 3 sets of these, 10, 15 pieces of food each set. Just bring it up to your face and feed. Bring it up to your face and feed. Make sure you feed within 2 seconds of bringing it up to your face. Don't hold it up to your face for a long period of time. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Release your dog between each set. Try not to bend over to your dog. Don't bow to your dog. Your dog can look up at your face. Unless we had like a little teeny chihuahua and a 7-foot guy, you don't need to bend down to your dog. After you're done doing your 3 sets, go and sit back down and we'll move on. No, you guys can stand. Don't tell your dog to sit. If your dog chooses to offer the sit, that's fine. But you can also do this from sitting down. You don't have to stand. Oh my gosh, I love those ginger snaps. You get those at Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, now I want them. Dang it. Now I gotta go to the gym again. Oh, is that what they are? Triple ginger?
Yeah.
Oh, I just knew them as ginger snaps. Yeah, I would sit for ginger snaps, trust me. Good job.
She's like,
Good job. So that was a little bit too long. I'd feed them right away. Yep. Feed. Good job. And try to hold it a little bit closer to your face.
Yeah.
Good. Nice.
you've got drool all over your face now.
It's okay. Happens to me when I stick my head out the window too. Yes,
He just
good
looks
job.
at me all the time.
That's fine.
But why would
The next step is going to be super simple then.
Okay.
But most of these people don't have that.
So should I free him after I give him the treat?
No, after you reload. He's really
Doing
nice.
anything.
That's really awesome. After when you reload. So I should have explained that.
Oh, okay.
So what I mean by between each set, release your dog. Each time you go into your bait bag, release your dog. Before you go into your bait bag, you don't have to release them in between each piece of food. So let's say you take out 15 pieces of food in your hand. You're through all of them. Then release your dog, and then reload. How's she doing?
He's very focused on the food. I don't feel like he's making eye contact with me. He's like, if I'm like this.
Ah. Okay, where are you holding it?
I mean, I'm trying to hold it like.
Right there? Okay. So, trust me on this. Do that a bunch more times, even though it doesn't look like he is. In a minute, I'll show you the next step, okay? The next step will totally make sense. Yeah, if you think your dog's just staring at your hand with the food, that's fine. I expect them to do that. Trust me on the next step, though. Good job. So that was a little too long. Yeah, it needs to be reinforced way quicker. Do you live in Eureka or Wairika?
Wairika.
So it's an hour drive here?
Yeah.
You got to come out to our IPO club one of these days. When you're after class, I'll tell you more about it.
Okay.
It's all for German Shepherds. Good job. Okay, so hold it up almost a little closer to your face.
Closer?
Yep, there you go, right there. Perfect.
Yay!
Good job.
You're such a good boy.
How's he doing today? So don't worry about asking him to sit. Just right now, just see if you, and can you do this from sitting down? Would that be easier for you?
Huh?
Can you do this from sitting down?
Either way, we're
Well, because,
distracted, of course.
okay, so because he's so small, I think if you sit down, it'd be easier for him to look at your face. Let's try it.
My biggest thing is trying to get him to quit biting. Hey,
Is he chewing on you or
yeah,
just walks up and bites on you?
yeah.
Okay. After class, ask me and I'll help you with that, okay?
Milo, come on. See, now it's just all food. Come on.
Okay, feed him. Feed. Feed? Good, okay, and again, right away again?
Problem, I don't want to set a thing out here for a while.
Do what again?
The problem is trying to get to this stuff, and so I put it down there, he's gonna go for it.
Can you take out a good handful and then put the rest in your pocket?
I'm trying to bury the sides.
Christina. It's okay, she'll grab the dog. Hey, do you mind if Christina just holds the leash for you?
Sure.
Okay, help you out a little bit? Do you mind helping him for a few on this? Thank you. Okay, well, they're finishing up. Let me show you the next step. So, right now your dogs are just following the food, right? I would too. If you held $100 in front of me, I'd probably follow it too. I'd expect you to do that. Now we're going to teach the dog to do a little reasoning. May I use you?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if I'll be any good, but.
You'll do fine. I can't guarantee it, but I'm very good at what I do. Okay, come out here, young man. Okay, take a good handful of food out and then put the rest in your pocket.
That's about all I have for that.
Is that all you have the rest of the day? Oh boy, you're in trouble. Well, it's not that it's not going to listen to you, but we can't reinforce new behaviors without reward. But I think we can probably scrounge you up some. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see him for a minute. In a minute, we'll have to turn, okay? So guys, watch for a minute if you're standing this way. Okay, do me a favor. You're going to start with a couple from his nose to his face. Do that 3 times. Good, okay. Try not to bend, bow to him. Okay, just stand straight. It's a subconscious thing that you don't even realize you're doing half the time.
Yeah.
Good, you did it again. Try not to bow to him. It's okay. Everybody does it if it makes you feel better. And feed. Good. Okay, so now watch what we're going to do. Just put it in front of his nose. Bring it to your face. Now hold it straight out. Away from you. No, straight out to the left. Sorry, to your side. To your right. I'm backwards. All the way out. Like an airplane. There you go. Now wait. Now we're going to give the dog a problem. Let's see if he solves it. The moment he looks... Did he look at you? The moment he looks at you, feed him. Okay, wait. Good. But I don't know. I think he might have looked at your other hand. Let's take your other hand out of the equation. Put it behind your back. Okay? Put it to his nose. Bring it to your face, and then straight out. Straight out, and wait. Let's see. Oh, good job. Now I know we talked about this last week. Jackpotting, right? Or throwing the dog a party. Somebody tell me why we throw the dog a party?
Makes them excited.
Did we talk about throwing a dog a party?
Oh, I would do that.
Exactly. So the very first time the dog really understands the behavior, we want to capture that. We want to solidify that behavior, okay? So next time you hold your hand out, he looks at you, feed him 3 in a row. Not all at once. 3 little pieces in a row to save food, okay? Okay, ready? To his nose, to your face, and out. Try not to bow to him. Okay, wait. Yes. Oh, feed him another one. Feed him another one. Okay, now. Okay, do you have another piece? Couple more pieces? Okay, now let's see if he understood why we jackpotted him. Okay, do me a favor, back up a little bit. I want him to naturally get up in that. Encourage him to get up in that. There you go. Okay, so hold it out. Okay, wait. Oh, so why did he look at the face that quicker that time?
Because he got jackpotted.
He got jackpotted, okay? So thank you. So what we did here, you can sit back down if you want. What we did here is we first taught the dog the muscle memory of where we want the dog's attention to go. And then we put a problem in front of the dog. The problem is the hand's out here and my face is here. And we waited. A lot of you guys are going to want to help your dog. A lot of you guys are going to want to give your dog a cue. You're going to want to make a noise, say their name, say watch, whatever the case may be. Try to fight that right at first. If you hold your hand out and your dog doesn't stare at you for like 30 seconds to 45 seconds, then maybe make one little noise. At the moment the dog looks at your face, jackpot the dog, but then set the dog back up again. Give the dog an opportunity. Anything an animal can learn on their own without our interference, they're going to learn quicker. Anything that we have to teach the dog takes longer. Does that make sense? So if my dog goes and jumps on the table and gets a steak, I never have to teach him to do that again. He knows how to do that. However, if I want to teach him how to go, jump on the table and get a steak, it's going to take longer. Okay, probably maybe 30 seconds, but still it's going to take longer than him getting on his own. Does that make sense? Okay, when you guys do this, mix it up. Don't always do it out of your right or left hand. It comes out of any side. Once you can get where you hold your hand out and your dog looks right at your face right away, then you can start putting a watch command to it. Some people use watch, some people use look. Use something that you're going to remember. Okay? All right, let's see you guys try it for a few minutes and then we'll move on. Does anybody have any extra food this young man can borrow? Well, have? Okay. Wants the cheese?
I'm sure he would.
All right.
Thank you.
I'd sell it to him like $5 a stick or $10 a stick.
Pay attention. Get this in my pocket.
Oh, you laughed though. You cheated. You cheated. He laughed. Did you see
Sorry, Boo-Boo. She was all waiting that I was laughing.
Wait, don't help him. Don't help him. It's there. He's a terrier. He can beat all these dogs. Almost. Wait. It's going to come. It's going to come. Hold on, Dad. Hold on. Don't move. Don't move. Try it. Just wait.
There, yeah.
He's gonna make a liar out. Oh, there it is! I told you it'd come. Good. Okay, but you missed your opportunity to jackpot him.
Oh.
So make sure you have a good handful of food. That way you can jackpot him because now it's too late. Okay, good job though. Way to have some patience. Now does it make sense why we let the dog stare at the hand?
Yeah. Look, I dropped a piece and he didn't even care.
Way to go.
Looking at me.
Way to go. I probably would pick it up though. Yes, good job. If you want him to take the food easy, when you hand it to him, push it in his mouth. Okay? Good job. Are you guys in a little competition here? Who can train the dog the quickest?
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, she's a little ahead of you. Try a little harder. Way to go. Okay, now I'm going to challenge you. Do that again, but twirl your hands a little bit. Okay, now go little circles. And instead of twisting your wrist, move your hands in circles. No, go like your whole arm. Whole arm. That's harder, isn't it? Okay, don't keep going. No, don't. Tell you what, it's better that you don't change a variable, that you just wait for the dog to work through it at this age. With him, yes, just keep spinning. And the moment oh, jackpot him. Oh, I don't know, he almost looked. So definitely challenge yourself. Like the more you can do, or get to the point where you can just drop a piece of food, he still stares at you. The more you can challenge yourself and challenge him, the more he'll work through any situation and not take his eyes off you. Good job. You're welcome.
So, what's the next step? Because he's doing this guy. You want to see him?
I want to see him.
Okay. Really?
Sorry that door's broke.
It's okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job. Okay.
Good
So,
boy.
okay, hold on. Get close to him. Okay, hold your hand straight out and then say watch.
Watch. Yes.
Good job.
Good boy. You're so smart.
Okay, hold it out again. Say watch.
Watch. Good boy.
Good.
Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Okay. This time don't hold your hands out. Just take that food and then keep your hands at your side and say watch and let's see what he does.
Watch. Good boy.
good boy. You're such a good boy.
So the next step would be duration, but we'll talk about that in a minute, okay?
Question.
Answer.
Just to look, I get him. To pull out. He sort of looks to me, he's not looking at it. He just looks towards me.
Okay, then still capture it. Feed it.
Okay.
Good. As you get better at this, then ask them for a little bit more. But it's almost kind of like your kids trying, and you still want to reward them for trying, right? Because if you don't, they'll give up.
Right.
Same concept.
I don't want to overtrain him to go just look over like this instead of going up. Okay, man.
Well, maybe accept that maybe a couple more times, and then demand a little bit more.
Okay.
Be careful. Your timing was a little off.
Yeah.
He got rewarded for looking at the food.
He looked back and forth.
Yep.
It wasn't really.
How's she doing?
She does better to one side than the other. It seems like when she looks over this way, she kind of gets distracted and everything that's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
But if it's one hand, she'll just look at the hand. The other hand, she immediately comes to my face.
Huh. That is odd. Maybe you've only fed her out of one hand so long that she doesn't realize
I've been
it's...
trying to switch them up here, but at
Huh.
home I probably only feed her out of one.
Gotcha.
No, but
Hey.
sometimes we can
Okay, so either two things have happened here. One, you've increased the difficulty of the behavior, or what you're asking, or two, there is not high enough reward, or three, there's too much distraction. I don't think it's three. I think because the dog is pretty much offering a lot while you're here, but I think you probably asked too much too soon. Okay. All right. You guys are doing really good. I saw a lot of little light bulbs go off with you and your dogs. So, what do you think our next step would be? Once we've paired a command, the dog understands to look at the face. What do you think next step would be? Duration. What good is it to have the dog just look at her face and look away? So, duration is one of those things where it takes patience, especially with this, because a lot of times what'll happen, can I use you for a minute? Well, a lot of times is, let's say Christina has a set number. She's like, oh man, I'm ambitious. I want to get the dog to stare at me for like 30 seconds. And so what happens is she says, look.
Look.
I look at the face, and then I look away. Then she's like, well, that wasn't good. She does it again.
Look.
Okay. Okay, so if I do this too many times, and I don't get rewarded, pretty soon she's going to say, look.
Look.
Oh, why? I didn't get reinforced. Right? So in our minds, we want to we want the dog to stare at us the whole time. However, the dog's not ready for that. So what Christina has to do, she has to time a little bit in her head. Okay, so right now she says, look.
Look. 1,000.
And then she feeds. So she counted to 1,000, and then she rewarded. She's going to try to start with 1,000, okay? So she's going to maybe do that 1,000 a couple times. Then after she does that a couple times, she's going to do this.
Look. 1,000, 1,000.
Oh, good. And the moment she makes it a little bit longer, she's going to jackpot me. We're going to act like that 2-second difference or 3-second difference is like this brand new behavior, and she's going to jackpot it for me. Because then I'm going to start saying, wait a minute, I like to stare at you longer, because this belief system I have, if I stare at you longer, then I get a bigger reward. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you, if you pull the handle more and more and more, you're going to get a bigger payout at that slot machine. The machine taught you that. Make sense? Okay, so let's see if we can, let's see if you guys can work up to a 3 count. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Just a 3 count, and then sit back down, and then we'll move on. So let's make it like a 3-second look at you, and then sit back down when you reach that point.
No, you come here.
I can't tell if he's looking at me. He's kind of I forgot to bring it to my face. Okay. Is that all?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Was he doing better a little bit ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is puppyhood.
Okay.
His brain is getting fried. He's already been doing, this is like a 45-minute lesson for him, right? Too long a lesson.
Right.
So if I were you, I wouldn't do any more of this. In fact, I would sit down and let him have a relax. And then when we start working on the next thing, he'll be fresh, okay? And you can explain that to your dad too, okay? How old is he?
6 months.
Yeah, same thing I told them is the younger the dog, the less our expectations have to be. So if he was doing really good before, but now he's kind of petering out, he's telling you, hey, I'm about done with this. I'm not ready to look at you for that long, okay?
Yeah, I can get about a second out of this.
Yep.
He looks pretty good.
How's he doing? Is she looking at you, or is he looking at you a little more?
No, come here.
Good job. He's staring at you the whole time.
Yeah, you do, he's got the food.
Nice, good job.
Very quiet.
You got up to, yes? What do you,
That's never been the problem. Sitting and staring, you know, because he thinks he's going to get some. I sit here, but
are you sure about that?
even with distractions, and then sometimes you get distracted for a little while.
Gotcha. How old is he?
15 weeks, 14 weeks.
Yeah, he's still very young.
Yeah.
1,000, good boy.
Good job. But try to count in your brain.
Okay.
If you count out loud, the dog knows I'm going to stare at you till I count to 3, but then I'm going to look away.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're kind of tapped out on that a little bit. That's a long 45-minute lesson. All right, so the next thing we're going to work on is leave it and take it. So here's a little concept I'm going to throw at you before we jump into leave it and take it. If your dog is barking in the backyard and you open up the door and you yell at your dog for barking, is that fair? Do what? You're barking with them, okay. Okay. Anything else? I mean, is that fair? Why isn't it fair?
Because he thinks that's what he's supposed to do.
Not quite, okay, not quite. Anything else come to mind?
You just know what you want.
Ah, there's a key word. Ask yourself this. Would you yell at your dog for panting? Would you yell at your dog for wagging its tail? Well, if you're not going to yell at your dog for wagging its tail and panting, you shouldn't yell at your dog for barking. Okay, why? Because you have not taught the dog what to do and what not to do. So if we want to teach the dog to stop barking, we first teach the dog to bark. We first capture the behavior that the dog is doing in order to teach the dog what it is that we want them to stop doing. You still with me here? Okay, so with this mind, yeah, exactly, he knows exactly what I'm speaking. With this mind frame that we're thinking about, if we're going to teach your dog a leave it command, what are we first going to teach your dog?
To do.
Say it again?
To do the command, or identify the command, or the...
Oh, somebody just said it. To take it. If we're going to teach your dog how to leave something alone, we first need to teach the dog how to take it. Okay? So take it super simple. Basically, you're just going to have a handful of food. You're going to hand a piece of dog food. You're going to say, take it. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute. I thought you said don't marry up a command, a marker word to a behavior and tell you the dog. You know the dog knows the behavior. Well, do you really have to teach your dogs how to bark, or how to eat? I guarantee your dogs know how to eat. So this is the one contrary to the rule. You can hand the dog food and say take it, and put a marker word to it. Okay? So basically, you're gonna take a handful of food, hand the dog a piece of food, and say take it. Let's do at least 3 or 4 sets of those. I don't care how many handfuls of food or how many food pieces of food. Make sure you put a 1 or 2 count in between each one. It's take it, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom, take it, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Like, in other words, don't hand them food repeatedly, like take, because then it turns all into one take it. I want the dog to really think about what we're asking them to do. Make sense? Okay, you guys can do this in sitting down. You don't need to stand unless you really want to stand. In fact, if you stand, it makes me feel really bad because you can. If you have difficulty with your dog biting your fingers, push the food into their mouth. At least 10, 15 times, and then the 16th time, don't push it in their mouth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, take it.
Okay.
That?
No, with 2 fingers, and we push it right, like down, like you're trying to push it down his throat.
Okay, take it.
Like that. A little harder.
Take it.
Good.
Take it. Take it. He's starting not to like it. Take it. Okay.
Does that make sense?
I can feel a difference already.
Uh-huh.
Take it.
He's gonna block you now. That's awesome.
Hey,
He's a really nice puppy.
take it.
Okay, be a little more aggressive, like really push it in his mouth.
Okay. Take it. No, he doesn't want it. Problem. So do I mark it before he eats it or after?
You say take it as you hand it to him.
Take it.
Just like that. Good. Don't be so quick. You're really quick, and that's one of the reasons why he's lunging for it. Okay?
So take it.
There you go. It's much more natural.
Apollo. Apollo. Take it. Take it.
Okay, now hand him one normally. Let's see what happens.
Take it.
Well, not quite there.
Take it.
It's a really... I'll take him home for you if you like. Good job. Okay, go and finish up what you're working on, and then we're going to move on. Okay, I need a demo dog. Anybody want to be a demo dog for me? Want to be a demo dog for me? Your dad volunteered you, yes.
Thanks, Dad.
He says you're the reason why we got these dogs, right, Dad?
No, he got his first. So
Oh, he got it.
I followed.
I see. Okay, so what we're going to start with a couple take it. She's going to simply hand the dog a piece of food and say take it. So do this for me like 2 or 3 times.
Take it. Take it.
Good.
Take it.
Okay, now watch what. Oh, here, turn this way a little bit so they can see. There you go. Now watch what's going to happen. That wasn't what I wanted to happen. Okay, what we need to do. How many pieces of food do you have?
4.
Okay, we need to do at least one more take it.
All right.
Take it.
Take it.
Good. Okay, now put all the food into one hand.
Does it matter?
Yes, we come hold the leash. So I just need one piece of food in your right hand. Okay. Okay. Open up your hand. Okay. Keep it right there. Bring it down a little bit and stop. Interesting. So this is not what's supposed to happen. I expected this dog to go for it. Close your hand. There you go. And wait. Okay, open it back up. Now say take it and hand it to him.
Take it.
Good. Okay. Do a couple more take it.
Take it.
Take it
Take
again.
it.
Basically what we're going to do is we're teaching the dog that when the hand is closed, you're denied the food and you leave it alone. And then we're going to pair a command to it. Okay? So, okay. Bring your hand down. Open it back. Open up. There you go. Bring it down a little bit lower. Close it. Have you done this with him?
Well, he used to be really jumpy when I was feeding him, so I taught him to lay down and wait for me to put the food down. Oh, he's got...
So this dog's already got some precognition of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I need a dog that doesn't know it.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to use the other shepherd if possible.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Thank you, though. Hey, good job. You're not being punished. You're being committed. Way to go.
All right.
I think she can handle it. Okay, so now put one in your palm of your hand. Okay, bring your hand up a little higher. Okay, open your hand. Okay, close it. Good. Open it again. Good. The key note here is not to bring your hand away from the dog. The only thing your hand does is close. Take it right there. Good. So do you guys see that? I know it's kind of hard, but the dog made a choice. The dog said, okay, I'm not going to stare at it. Ooh, good, take it. The moment we see the dog offer something else besides going for it, we immediately say take it and hand the dog a piece of food, okay? So, okay, open your hand. Good. So do me a favor, don't worry about the petting. Okay, and this time I want you to say, when you open your hand, leave your hand right there, say leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Now, in this case, the dog is offering to look at her face, which is completely fine. The fact the dog is not going for the food, it's offering to look at the face. Don't mix up look with leaving things alone. I don't care if the food is on the ground and I'm behind the dog. I still want the dog to leave alone, even though the dog may not be a look at me. Does that make sense? Even though you're getting fortunate, the dog is offering it, don't mix it up. Let's try it. Okay, say leave it. Okay, bring your hand to look. Okay, feed the dog. Take it. Okay. Open your hand again. Okay, bring it down lower. Close it. Good, take it. Have you done that with this dog?
Not to leave it.
Really?
I do to leave it when he's out barking. I say his name and I say, leave it. You know, he comes back.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's do a couple more take-its. The other thing is don't do too many take-its or too many leave-its in a row. If you do too many leave-its in a row, what happens? Any idea? Yep, then everything becomes a leave-it. I want the dog to really think, did dad or mom say leave it or did they say take it? Good job. Okay, wait. Okay, now do a leave it. Okay, bring it closer to him.
Leave it. So it's leave it while you're closing it if he's going for your hand.
It's leave it while you open it. So open your hand, say leave it.
Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Got too close. Bring it away a little bit. Okay, open your hand, say leave it. Okay, now, there you go. Good job. Okay, let's see you guys all try this as a group.
It's kind of maxed out.
It's okay. So if the dog keeps failing, like keeps bothering your hand, take your hand up a little bit. Like remove your hand up just a little bit.
Okay.
Done. If your dog keeps failing, then take your hand up a little bit out of the picture. Okay, open your hand right there. Okay, wait. Close your hand. Just wait. I like the reasoning.
She's like, I'm strong. I'm just going to muscle my way through. Come here. Hey.
Okay, bring your hand up higher.
There you go.
Okay, start with a couple take-its. Take it.
Take it.
Good. Take
Take
it.
it.
Good.
Whoops, that one stuck in my fingernail. That one was too small. Take it.
Okay, now put it one in the palm of your hand right away. Leave it.
Leave it.
Okay, close, open your hand, say leave it.
Leave it.
So leave it happens when you open your hand. Good, say
Leave
take
it.
it.
Take
Good.
Good, good, good.
So make sure you say leave it when your hand is opening.
Open.
Yes.
Opening.
Or you're presenting it.
Okay.
Anytime your hand is open, you say leave it.
Okay.
I got the
Leave it.
collar, and it
Good
was
girl.
good. I've been walking with him. It's
Don't
like
say
good
good
morning.
Good job. It's hard, isn't it?
That's been
But do you know why? Let's say there's something on the ground and you tell her to leave it for a month from now, and she does, you're like, oh, good girl. Well, you've paired good girl with take it. What is she gonna do? Oh, mom must want me to take it. Then the dog fails. How's it going?
He's already good.
Awesome, good job. Yes.
Usually if you drop food or something, you don't want your dog to go for it. So you want an automatic
In a perfect world.
Something stimulating.
If that's something you want, you have to train for it. But you have to be very black and white. But then again, imagine you put, where you put your kibble down, or your bowl of food. You put it on the ground, right? So it's almost counterintuitive. You almost have to teach the dog only if it's in a bowl, and then it gets really complicated. Exactly. If you're walking down the street and there's something on the ground, you should be able to tell the dog to leave it, and it leaves it alone.
Yeah.
How's it going? Is he getting it?
A little bit.
I think that's pretty good. Say take it.
There you go.
Good. So is there you go, you're going to be your take it command?
No.
Okay, you got to make sure it's really clear.
There you go. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So now do a couple take it's. Don't do too many leave it's, because then everything turns into a leave it.
Take it.
Good. How's he doing?
He's coming along.
Is he coming along?
Take it. Leave it. Leave it.
Okay, too much temptation too soon. Okay, and don't take your hand away. Okay, bring it down a little bit. Oh, stop. Close your hand. Bring it up a little higher. Okay, open your hand. Okay, leave it right there for a minute. Now say take your hand to him.
Take.
Good. Okay, do a couple take it's.
Take it. Take it.
Good. Okay, now let's do leave it.
Leave it.
Close your hand. Oh, wait. You would have done it. Sorry. Open your hand again. Say leave it.
Leave it.
Close your hand. Okay, wait. Just ignore that. Okay, open your hand again. Close it. Okay, open it again. There, say take it. He doesn't have to look at you. I just don't bother it. Just don't look at it. Just don't keep fixating on it. Look away from it, look at me, do something else besides fixating. Because then, I'll explain this to everybody, but then this can transfer to other dogs, cats, a plethora of different things. I don't focus on it, I don't look at it, I don't go for it. Make sense? How's he doing?
Good juvenile.
Do what?
Juvenile.
Juvenile?
Keeps his attention sometimes.
Keep trying.
You're such a good boy.
How's he doing?
Good. Leave it. Lily, take it.
Good job. Okay. All right. So a couple things that I saw people seeing. I love your ambition, but sometimes ambition kicks us in the butt, where we make the temptation too much too soon. So a lot of you guys are putting the food right in front of the dog's nose and telling the dog leave it. It's not there yet. It's kind of like taking your husband or your significant other to a car store and walking by the Mustangs first. No, you take them by the Priuses first, and then you build up to the Mustangs and tell them no, okay? So don't make the temptation too much too soon. Also make sure you close your hand when the dog goes for it. You don't take the hand away. We don't remove the item. We basically just block the dog from it, remove the ability to get it, and then when the dog leaves alone, we open the hand back up. If you take your hand away, you're basically, in my opinion, just doing the work for the dog. Make sense? Do you have a question?
Would you explain why when you say take it, you actually get it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So,
I just wanted you to explain to everybody.
this young lady kind of asked the same thing in an indirect way. So you got to imagine, if you're walking down the street and there's a nasty hamburger on the ground and your dog walks past it and you tell the dog to leave it and it leaves it alone, but sometimes you let the dog go for whatever's in your hand instead of handing it to the dog, then lines are really kind of blurred. I want the dog to be understanding that we don't take anything at this stage unless we hand it to the dog. That way you can walk by something on the ground, tell the dog to leave it, and it's very black and white to the dog. The dog says, oh, I don't even go for it because mom and dad did not hand it to me. After the dog firmly understands or the behavior is really anchored, then you can release the dog to an indirect reward in that case, where it can be whatever's on the ground, or if you set something on the ground and you teach the dog to leave it and work through it, it can do that. But up to now, right now, you just need to make it black and white. So the great thing about this behavior, if you really work on this, is this can transfer to a ton of different things. This can transfer to other dogs, cats, livestock. If you take the dog into a pet store, I like how they put a lot of the bulk stuff right down to the dog's level. You think they would like block it. No, they do that, so you have to buy that big bone the dog grabs, right? The most expensive one, okay? You can fight back by telling the dog to leave it alone, and your dog learns how to leave those things alone. But you want to make sure it's really black and white. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, well, you guys did really good. I appreciate you guys being here. If you need any help, stay in your seat. If not, I will see you guys next week.